The rain was falling hard. The city streets were empty, cold, and silent. Only the sound of water hitting the pavement could be heard. The streetlights flickered, and the wind blew strong. It was a bad night to be outside, near an old bus stop. A girl sat alone. Her clothes were wet and torn. Her long hair stuck to her face. She was shaking from the cold. Her hands were wrapped around her stomach, and she looked weak, like she hadn't eaten in days. She wasn't human. Not fully. Her skin looked almost like human skin, but it was too smooth, too perfect. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark, a soft purple light that didn't belong in this world. She was crying. A man named Eli walked by. He had just finished his night shift at the auto repair shop. He was tired, soaked from the rain, and just wanted to go home. But something made him stop. A sound. A voice. "Please, don't leave me. The girl whispered. Eli turned slowly and saw her. She looked up at him with wide, scared eyes. I'll bear your offspring. Just don't throw me out," she sobbed. Eli froze. What did she just say? He looked around. No one else was on the street. Just him and this strange girl, broken and alone in the rain. He took a step closer. "What did you say?" he asked, his voice low. She didn't answer. She just cried harder, her body shaking. Eli knelt down beside her. He didn't understand what was happening. She was young, maybe in her 20s, but her eyes, they looked older. Like they had seen too much pain. "You're freezing," he sighed. "You'll die out here." She didn't reply, but her eyes begged him for help. She was scared, not just of the cold, of something more. Eli had always been the kind of man who helped others. He fixed cars for free when people couldn't pay. He brought food to his old neighbors. But this was different. She wasn't just some lost girl. She was something else. Still, he couldn't leave her there. "Can you walk?" he asked. She nodded weakly. He took off his jacket and wrapped it around her. It was too big for her small frame, but it helped, slowly. He helped her stand. She leaned against him, her body too tired to move on its own. Together, they walked toward his old truck, parked near the corner. As they drove through the rain, Eli kept glancing at her. She stared out the window, silent. The truck's heater was on full, trying to warm her up. "What's your name?" he asked gently. After a long pause, she whispered, "Rila." "That's a pretty name." No answer. "You're not from around here, are you?" Another long silence. Then she whispered, "I'm not from this world." Eli gripped the steering wheel tighter. He had suspected something strange, but now he was sure. She wasn't human, but she wasn't dangerous. She was scared, hurt, alone. They reached his small cabin outside the city. It was quiet there, surrounded by trees. A safe place. He helped her inside. She looked around like she had never seen a human home before. "You can stay here," Eli said. "Just rest. We'll talk when you feel better." She nodded, too weak to speak. Eli gave her clean clothes and left her in the guest room. He didn't ask questions. Not yet. She needed time. As he sat by the fireplace later that night, he thought about her words. "I'll bear your offspring." Why would she say that? Was it a trick? A trap? Or was she running from something terrible? Eli didn't know. But one thing was clear: Rila was not safe out there. And now she was in his care. Outside, the rain kept falling, but inside, something had changed. He found her sleeping on the floor, not the bed. Eli had given her a soft blanket, a warm room, and even a clean shirt to wear. But Rila chose the floor, curled up in a corner, like she expected someone to throw her out at any second. He watched her for a moment, confused. Why wouldn't she rest like a normal person? And then he noticed her skin. In the dim morning light, soft purple lines glowed faintly across her arms, like veins of light running beneath her skin. They pulsed gently, like the rhythm of a heartbeat. She wasn't human. Eli stepped back. She stirred. When her eyes opened, the glow faded. She blinked and sat up fast, looking scared. Like a hunted animal. You're safe, Eli said quickly. You're not outside anymore. Rila looked around. The walls, the wooden ceiling. Her fingers touched the blanket as if it was something sacred. I didn't mean to take the floor, she said quietly. I didn't want to leave a scent on your bed. Eli tilted his head. Scent? She paused. It's how they find me. My kind. And the ones chasing us. They track. US by scent, by memory, by emotion. Us? Eli asked. There are more of you? She lowered her head. Not anymore. There was silence. Eli brought her a bowl of hot soup. She took it with both hands, like it was treasure. She sipped slowly, then stopped. Her eyes filled with tears. This tastes like the food from the nurseries. Before the world changed. She whispered. Eli didn't understand. But he didn't interrupt. I escaped the colony ship, she said after a while. They had locked me in a breeding chamber. I was chosen for royal blood. Not because I wanted to be. Eli's breath caught. I ran, she continued. I stole a pod. Crashed here. The baby inside me, it's not just mine. It's meant to continue a line that's nearly gone. Now Eli understood. What she had said in the rain wasn't madness. It was truth. She was pregnant with something rare, something sacred to her people, maybe even dangerous. Why me? He asked. Why did you speak to me like that? You didn't even know me. She looked into his eyes. Because I could feel your heart. It was quiet, kind. You didn't run when you saw me. And I had no more time. Her hands trembled. I thought, if I offered myself, you'd have a reason to keep me, to protect the child. Eli stood up and walked to the window. The forest outside was peaceful, but his thoughts weren't. She was alien, pregnant, hunted, and hiding something deep inside, her that others would kill to find. You don't need to offer anything, he said after a long silence. I'm not that kind of man. Rila didn't speak, but her shoulders relaxed a little. Suddenly, there was a beep, a high-pitched tone. She jumped and grabbed her side. A small silver device fell from under her clothes. Eli stepped forward, and the device lit up. A small screen showed alien symbols. Then they turned into English words. Genetic signature. Detected. Royal line priority target. Protect at all costs. Eli's eyes widened. Rila closed her eyes. They'll come soon, she said softly. They've always come. Number. Matter where I hide. Eli picked up the device. Then we'll make this place harder to find. She looked at him, surprised. You believe me? I don't understand most of it, he said, but I believe you. Rila covered her stomach. With her hands, thank you. It began with the dog. Eli didn't own one, but that night, a stray wandered onto his land, barking wildly at the sky. The animal wouldn't stop, even when the wind picked up and the trees started to bend. Then the lights came. They weren't from any plane Eli had ever seen. Silent, silver, moving low over the forest without sound, like ghosts passing over the treetops. The dog ran. Eli stood frozen on his porch. Inside the house, Rila woke up in a panic. Her breathing grew fast. She pressed her hands to her stomach and whispered, No, they found me. Eli rushed in. What are those things? She didn't answer. At first, her eyes were fixed on the ceiling. She was shaking. They are called the Seekers, she finally said. Hunters from my world. Once they mark a royal escapee, they never stop until the child is taken or destroyed. Alila's face hardened. They're not taking anything from you. Rila looked up at him. You don't understand. These things, they don't just come to take me. They erase everything. Places, people, to cover their tracks. Eli checked the windows. He grabbed his old shotgun. though he knew it wouldn't do much against whatever flew in the sky like that. "We need to go," she said. Eli shook his head. "No, they'll track us faster on the road. Here, at least I know the land." But Rila was already pulling something from her clothes, a small disc the size of a coin. She pressed it. A holographic map appeared in the air. Dots blinked, one red, one blue. "What is this?" Eli asked. "This disc tracks both me and them. The blue is us. The red is them." "They're close." Eli stared at the map. The red dot was getting bigger, closer. "We can't fight ships," he said. "We don't need to fight them," Rila replied. "We need to hide, somewhere deep." Eli thought fast. "There's an old root cellar under the barn. Been sealed for years, but we can clear it." They ran outside, rain beginning to fall again. The lights in the sky shifted, as if scanning. Rila covered her head, clutching her belly. They reached the barn and pried open the cellar door. Dust and spider webs covered the entrance. Eli led her down with a flashlight. It was cold, dark, but safe. At least for now. "I'm sorry," she whispered in the dark. "I didn't mean to bring this danger to your home." Eli looked at her and said simply, "You didn't bring it." They did. Above them, the lights moved on. For now, they were hidden, but the hunters had seen something, and they never left without what they came for. Asterisk. The dream wasn't hers. She saw a throne floating in the sky, wrapped in golden light. Armored figures bowed before it. And in the center, a woman who looked just like her, only older, stronger, and wearing a crown made of stars. Then came the fire. The woman screamed. The throne exploded. Soldiers fell, and the child inside her cried. Rila woke up gasping. Eli was already sitting by her side. "Another dream?" She nodded, sweat on her forehead. "No, not a dream, a memory, but not mine." Eli didn't understand. Rila took his hand and placed it gently on her stomach. "She's remembering for me, my daughter. She carries the memories of our bloodline, everything they destroyed. She still remembers." Eli was quiet. His hand trembled. Then the glow began, not just on her arms, but on her stomach, her neck, her chest. Lines of soft purple light traced ancient symbols across her skin. They moved alive like rivers of light beneath her flesh. Eli stared. "What is that?" "Our blood," Rila whispered. "My people encoded knowledge into our DNA. Royal blood carries power, truth, technology, history. It's not just blood, it's a vault." She reached into her bag and pulled out a small silver needle. "This will show you." Before Eli could stop her, she pricked her finger and pressed the drop of blood into the device. It glowed red. Scanned and beeped. A voice came from the device, mechanical, calm, confirmed. "Royal lineage, genetic key, active. Warning, elimination order still in effect." Then a blue light shot into the air, showing an image her planet. A war. Royal children hunted. Scientists burning scrolls. Machines locking babies into cold metal cages. Eli turned away, eyes wide. "They killed everyone like you," he said. "They tried," she replied. "But my mother hid me and died for it." The light shut off. Silence. "I'm not just carrying a baby," Rila said softly. "I'm carrying the last hope of my world's memory. If they kill her, my people's history dies forever." Eli clenched his fists. "We won't let that happen." Rila looked at him. "You say that now. But when they come with weapons that melt buildings, will you still stand beside me?" Eli didn't speak. Instead, he walked out of the room. A moment later, he returned with a backpack. Inside was food, tools, batteries, a hunting knife, and something wrapped in cloth, an old photo of his family. "My brother died in a war he never started," Eli said. "I won't let another child die in one." Rila's eyes softened. "Thank you." But neither of them knew that far above Earth's atmosphere, A ship had already locked onto her blood signal. The Seekers were coming, and this time they wouldn't just search. They would burn everything until the royal blood was gone. He found the warning carved into the tree. It wasn't there yesterday. But now, right outside Ela's barn, the bark was split with strange alien symbols burned deep into the wood. Rila stared at it in fear. They were here, she whispered. Close enough to leave a message. Eli touched the symbols. They were still warm. What does it say? He asked. She hesitated. It says ... last mercy. Hand over the vessel. Eli's heart sank. They weren't just hunting her anymore. They were giving him a choice. Turn her in, or face what came next. That night, he didn't sleep. He stood at the window, watching the woods, gun by his side, mind full of fire. In the next room, Rila slept lightly, her arms wrapped around her growing belly. The child inside her had kicked for the first time earlier. She had smiled even while crying. She trusted him, but what if he couldn't protect her? The next morning, the sky was wrong, too quiet. No birds, no wind. Then a black dot appeared above the trees. Not a ship. A drone hovering. Watching. It dropped something. A box. Smooth metal. Eli opened it. Inside was a communication orb. He touched it. A voice echoed around him, cold, calculated, human. You are housing a Class R fugitive. The vessel is valuable. You are not. Deliver her by sunset. Refuse, and you will be erased with the property. The message ended. Eli stood frozen. He had never felt fear like this. He walked back inside. Rila stood near the fire, holding the child inside her, as if she had heard every word. I should leave, she said. You can say I forced you. Maybe they'll spare you. Eli looked at her. No, you'll die, she said. Maybe, he replied. But I'd rather die standing between you and them than live knowing I let them take you. Tears welled in her eyes. No one has ever chosen me, she whispered. Eli stepped forward. Well, I do. They spent the rest of the day preparing. Eli turned off the power. No signals. He hid Rila beneath the barn cellar again, covered the hatch with hay and tools. As the sun began to fall, the wind changed. And then ... they came. Not ships, not soldiers, but machines. 4 dark figures stepped out of the trees, tall and silent, shaped like armor with no soul. Their faces were smooth metal. Their hands were weapons. Eli stepped outside with his shotgun. This is your final warning, one of them said. Its voice didn't come from a mouth, but from inside his mind. She's not here. Eli lied. They didn't believe him. One machine stepped forward and scanned the ground. Life signs detected beneath structure. Eli fired. The gunshot echoed across the trees. One of the machines stumbled back, but didn't fall. Then they attacked. Eli ran toward the cellar hatch as 2 of them opened fire. Blue bolts of energy lit up the barn. He didn't stop. He reached the hatch, opened it, and yelled, "Run!" But Rila didn't run. She climbed up, eyes glowing, hands raised. And then it happened. The child inside her pulsed. A wave of light exploded from her body. The barn walls shook. The machines screamed real screams and dropped their weapons. They staggered, then fled. Rila fell to her knees, weak, barely conscious. Ale caught her before she hit the ground. Are you okay? He asked. I don't know. What just happened? She whispered. You protected us. No, she said, eyes fluttering closed. She did. It started with smoke, not from the fireplace. Not from the kitchen, from the sky. Eli smelled it before he saw it. A bitter, burning scent that didn't belong to wood or gas. This was something else. Something artificial. He ran outside, and there it was. His home was on fire, not the barn. Not the woods, his cabin. Flames lit through the roof. The windows burst from the heat. Everything he had, memories, photos, tools. Food was turning into ash. He stood frozen. This was no accident. They had returned. They couldn't find Rila. So they sent a message. Inside the cellar, Rila felt the heat and panic rising. She grabbed her stomach and whispered to the child, "Hold on. Just a little longer." Eli burst in through the hatch, coughing. "We have to move. Now." He helped her up. Her legs were weak. Her skin was hot, burning with energy again. But she couldn't control it this time. The last pulse had drained her. "They know," she whispered. "They're not trying to take me anymore. They're trying to erase me." Eli didn't wait. He grabbed his emergency pack and helped her into his truck. The tires spun in mud as they raced away from the burning house. Behind them, a dark drone hovered, watching the flames rise. "They'll follow us," Rila said weakly. "They have our scent." Eli shook his head. "I know where to go." He drove deep into the hills, where old tunnels ran beneath the earth, abandoned. Mining shafts sealed off long ago. He had worked there once. Nobody went near them now. Not even the government. They parked far away and walked the rest. Rila could barely stand. Eli carried her Dot inside the tunnel. It was cold, damp, but safe. For now, he set down blankets, lit a small oil lamp, and made her comfortable on a bed of hay. Rila groaned. Her hands clutched her stomach. "It's time," she whispered. Eli's heart skipped. "What? The baby, she's coming." No. "Not here, not now," he said, panic in his voice. She tried to smile. "We don't always get to choose." Outside, the wind howled. But inside, Eli's mind raced. He had no tools, no doctors, no clean water. Just faith. He knelt beside her, held her hand and said, "I'm here. We'll get through this, together." Her labor came hard and fast. Screams echoed through the stone tunnels. Her skin glowed, symbols flashing across her face and arms. The child inside her carried energy too strong for this world. At one point, the tunnel walls shook. Ile thought it was an earthquake, but Rila said, "She's trying to come through. Her power is waking up." Hours passed like years. Then finally, the cry. Soft, but real. A baby. Tiny, glowing, alive. Ili wrapped her in a clean shirt and stared in awe. "She's beautiful," he whispered. Rila looked at them both. Tears filled her eyes. "I thought I wouldn't live to see her. But now she's here." Suddenly, the tunnel lights flickered. Footsteps echoed from the dark. Not machines, not aliens. Humans. Eli stood, holding the child close. Then a voice called out, "We followed your signal." "Are you Eli Ward?" He nodded, confused. "We saw the explosion." The sky lit up like lightning. "Who is she?" Ale looked at Ryla. Then at the child, and for the first time, he didn't feel like just a mechanic or a helper. He felt like something more. "A guardian." He said only 2 words, "She's hope." The child didn't cry again. She only cried once at birth. After that, silence. But not the scary kind. She looked around with glowing violet eyes, wide and calm, like she already understood the world. Rila lay weak on the ground, her skin pale, her breath soft. Eli held the baby in his arms. And for the first time in his life, the world felt still. "She's quiet," he whispered. "She's listening," Rila said faintly. "She's always listening." Outside the tunnel, the strangers, humans, from a nearby survival outpost, stood in awe. They had seen the blast of light in the sky. They thought it was a weapon, but now they saw. It was a birth, a child that made the earth shake, a girl born of 2 worlds. Eli stepped forward. "You said you followed a signal. What kind of signal?" One of the men, an old scientist named Dr. Heller, held up a strange reader, an energy pulse we've never seen. It came from beneath the mountains, almost like someone opened a door that had been closed for 1,000 years. He looked at the baby. "She's not fully human, is she?" Eli didn't answer. Rila struggled to sit up. "She's not a threat. She's a key." Dr. Heller's voice lowered. To what? To remembering what was lost, Rila said. To rebuilding what was burned. Her blood carries it all. Alile knew what had to happen. He handed the child back to Rila. You need to go with them. Rila looked at him in shock. What? They can protect her. Learn from her. Use her gift to stop the ones who still hunt you. Rila's eyes filled with tears. And what about you? I'll stay behind, Eli said. I'll cover your trail. Lead the hunters the wrong way. No, Rila whispered. I won't leave you behind. Eli knelt down, touched her cheek gently. You said no one ever chose you, but I did. And now I choose her future over mine. The others waited. Time was running short. Suddenly, the baby reached out, her tiny hand glowing, and touched Eli's chest. A vision rushed through him. Stars, wars, fire, peace, and then a farmhouse, a family. Her future. He gasped, breath stolen by the vision. Rila saw it too. She wants you with us, Rila said, stunned. She chose you back. She whispered. Eli looked at the baby. And for the first time, he smiled. Then he stood and turned to Dr. Heller. If I come with you, she'll be safe. The Gandhi. Doctor nodded. She'll be guarded like a treasure. But we'll need your help. Her power is too much to understand alone. Eli looked one last time at the tunnel that had saved them. The fire, the fear, the loss. They were behind him now. Ahead was something new. Not just survival. A family. He walked into the light, carrying Rila in one arm, the child in the other. Sun rose behind them. The sky was calm, and the hunters? They never found them again, because the child had erased her own trail. She had chosen peace, and in the end, it was love that saved them.